Foreign aid, probably another area where they can't really take a break. There's bipartisan support that foreign aid ought to rise to 0.5% of gross national income, but Joe Hockey criticised the move nevertheless. Here he is.
And if you want to really know what will rile Australian families, the foreign aid budget is increasing by $6 billion over the next 4 years. It seems confused. The priorities appear to be wrong at this moment.
Now, Julie Bishop apparently wasn't all that pleased with that contribution.
Well, understandably so, because the priorities of the coalition, at least in terms of what they say, is to raise the foreign aid budget by exactly the same amount to reach, as you say, the same 0.5% of GNI. I think when it comes past those sort of populist statements straight after the budget, what the coalition is going to focus in on is where the foreign aid is being spent. And I think they have a suspicion that it might be being spent to assist the bid for the UN Security Council rather than possibly on Australia's highest priority foreign aid projects. And I think that's where their attack will go. But in terms of what they said directly after the budget, I mean, it was directly contradicting their own policy.
Let's hear from Joe Hockey again, and this time it was his call for an election. The sooner the better.
We're going to do everything we can to put the pressure on the government to call an election, because this budget is completely out of touch with the interests of the Australian people.
The message I give to Tony Abbott is there will be no election. You might wish for it, you won't get it.
Did they really need Bob Brown making that statement? It does give an impression that maybe he's a stakeholder here. He calls the shots.
I think clearly the government still has the majority on the floor of the House of Representatives, and clearly the opposition is trying to destabilise the government as much as possible because it's a very slim majority. I think as well we're seeing that the costs of minority government in Australia probably are mounting. I mean, we're going through a very large transformation in our economy. We're facing a lot of big challenges. You really do need, I think, strong government with a majority to run this country. And I think we will run the risks of having bad policy if you have a government that can never really stick its neck out and do anything that does have, you know, some short-term costs or does offend or affect some people, as we're seeing in something just like very modest changes to the family tax payments.